At this time, Fu Nancheng was sitting in the office chair. He saw that the door of the lounge was open a crack. It seemed that a lazy cat had got up. He lifted his handsome eyelids and looked at Su Qianru and said in a cold voice, "Miss Su, I have something to do now. Please leave." Fu Nancheng's attitude towards her was very cold yesterday, so she had no choice but to go to him herself. Now Fu Nancheng's attitude is still ambiguous. He didn't say whether to marry her or not. Su Qianru was anxious like an ant on a hot pot. "Mr. Fu, don't you want to marry the king?" "I am the king." Suchi behind the door was startled. Fu Nancheng wanted to marry king? She closed the door. Seeing the door seem closed, Fu Nancheng pursed his lips and said, "Secretary Song, please show the guest away." Secretary Song on the phone answered, "Yes." Secretary Song walked in quickly. "Miss Su, please." Su Qianru had no choice but to wait. Mr. Fu, I'll wait for your reply." Su Qianru turned and left. In the lounge, Suchi was standing in front of the door and Fu Nancheng walked over to open the lounge door. The man was wearing a handmade green suit, looking handsome, reserved, energetic, and having a mature and elite business aura. When Fu Nancheng opened the door, Suchi also happened to open the door. As a result, Suchi fell into the embrace of Fu Nancheng's strong chest. The scene was a bit taboo, and it made people blush. Fu Nancheng's big hand fell on her flat belly and asked in a low voice, "Does your stomach still hurt?" Still feeling a little uncomfortable. "It's okay now." Suchi thought for a moment and said hesitantly, "Mr. Fu, actually, I just overheard you talking to Su Qianru." Fu Nancheng looked at her bright eyes and curled his thin lips. "And then?" "I'm not asking about your private affairs, I just don't want to be a mistress. If you marry Su Qianru, then we're done. What else can you say with your little mouth except end every day?" The engagement was arranged by an old lady in the imperial capital, and she wanted me to marry the king. He took the initiative to speak. Susi was a little stunned. She had some connection with the old lady Fu in the imperial capital, but she didn't expect that the old lady would let her grandson marry her. "How do you know for sure that she is the king?" "King has a jade pendant as a token of love. 2 years ago, Su Shui used the jade pendant to marry into the Fu family. Now Su Qianru says the jade pendant is hers." Susi understood everything. It turned out that the Su family took her jade pendant to the Fu family to seek marriage. This wrong marriage in a wealthy family started with her jade pendant. The shamelessness of the Su family once again refreshed her cognition, and Su Qianru really had the nerve to pretend to be the king. How did my jade pendant become the property of these two sisters? One or both of them dared to pretend to be me. It seems I have to take action. Susi looked at him with bright eyes. "It turns out that Su Qianru is Mr. Fu's real bride. What are you waiting for? Why don't you marry her right away?" Fu Nancheng's big hand fell on her soft waist and pinched it hard. "What are you thinking? I'm just making a gesture to the old lady before I completely control the Fu family. I won't really marry her." "It hurts, Mr. Fu, you hurt me!" She twisted her eyebrows and cried out in pain, and the little yellow warbler pinched her little throat, making his bones feel soft. She didn't seem to be pretending, so Fu Nancheng quickly let go of her soft waist. "Does it hurt?" "Well, it makes my stomach uncomfortable." Fu Nancheng's big hand fell on her belly again, and his resolute jaw rubbed against her head. "Why are you becoming more and more spoiled?" A man's deep voice sounded above her head. "Come here, let me rub it for you." After saying that, he turned around and threw his body onto the soft mattress. He put his 2 big hands under her armpits and held her in his arms like a little girl. "Why, you're not working?" "I'm the boss. Whether I go to work or not depends on my mood. I'm in the mood to do something else right now." Ever since she moved in, his place had become a paradise of comfort with a high bed and soft pillows. The air was filled with her scent of milky lychees. "Stop it! I have something else to do later." She wanted to leave his arms, but Fu Nancheng grabbed her shoulders and stopped her from leaving. At this time, the man asked in a low voice, "So everything is fine now? Stay with me and sleep for a while." Fu Nancheng's big hands fell on her flat belly and gently rubbed circles, massaging her for a long time. Zhuxi felt very lazy these 2 days, had no appetite and was sleepy. His massage was so comfortable that she nestled in his arms and fell drowsy. Zhuxi opened her sleepy eyes and nodded. Okay. Let's go find Su Qianru later. That afternoon, CC office area. At this time a person came over. It was Zhuxi. Su Qianru, long time no see. When Su Qianru saw Zhuxi, she immediately said, Did you know that I was fired? It doesn't matter, CC. I believe that talent will not be wasted. I am sure I will have another chance. Zhuxi walked up to Su Qianru and smiled. Su Qianru, stop pretending. Aren't you the king? How could a king be fired by CC? Or are you lying again? You, where did you hear that? Su Qianru's expression changed. How did Zhuxi know about this? Don't worry about this, just tell me whether you are the king or not. Me, of course, I am the king! Su Qianru could only admit it generously. I'm also engaged to a big shot and my parents say they're counting on me. Cici, you have to work hard too. Zhuxi smiled. What is she laughing at? Su Qianru felt that Zhuxi's smile was strange. Zhuxi was not surprised. Fu Nancheng helped Su Qianru erase all traces on the internet. The Su family must have heard the news and wanted to invite Su Qianru back. Zhuxi walked to Su Qianru's side, smiled with clear eyes. No one is competing with you for your parents. You and the Su family are a perfect match. I suggest you take care of them. After saying that, she ran away. Su Qianru's expression changed. What did Zhuxi mean by this? Did she find out that she was a fake king? How is that possible? She must have been overthinking it. Zhuxi walked away and took out her cell phone. She had just recorded the conversation with her cell phone. Turning on the recording, Su Qianru's voice came out. Of course, I am the king! Zhuxi sent this message to Lin Zhaozhao. After sending a message to Lin Zhaozhao, she called her. Hello, Zhao Zhao, do you know any gossip bloggers? Lin Zhaozhao said. Yes, what's wrong? Zhuxi's eyes lit up. There's something I want to send. Su Qianru has been pretending to be me for so long. It's time to draw attention. Su Family Villa Hall. Qianru, look, these netizens are really good at praising. Now no one mentions the previous news. So good. Su Qianru was shocked when she saw herself on the trending search. She didn't want to be on this trending search at all. She just wanted to use the fact that she was the king to deceive people, to deceive Mrs. Song and Fu Nancheng, so as to get everything she wanted. Now, she is the king, and it has become popular on the trending search list. Now everyone knows about it. Her crazy fans are still partying everywhere, and the situation is getting worse and worse. How could it be exposed suddenly? After all, I am not the real king. What if the real king sees me? Then her lies will be exposed, and how will she end up? Su Qianru felt very uneasy. She didn't expect that Zhuxi had recorded their conversation and exposed it to entertainment reporters. What on earth did Zhuxi want to do? At this moment, there was a ding-ling sound and someone rang the doorbell of the villa. Who? And it turned out that it was old Madame Su who had brought people over. Qianru, you said you are a king. It seems that our family business still depends on you, Madame Su said. What did I say? Qianru is the best girl in our Su family. Su Qianru was upset, and when she saw these people coming and praising her, she became big-headed. Su Qianru's face was full of red. Why think so much? King hasn't shown up in so many years. Isn't this my chance? I must seize it. At this time, Su Wanner looked at her phone and said, Oh my god, CC official blog has spoken! What? Su Qianru's heart skipped a beat. Did CC's official Weibo speak out? Su Wanner, why are you so startled? Don't you think you've been embarrassed enough before? Grandma, you should take a look at this first. Old Madame Su Changrong, couldn't wait to open her phone. The CC official blog had just updated a post. Our king, born in prosperity, raised in splendor, single-handedly created the CC myth, full of splendor. Not just anybody can mess with us. Su Qianru, who are you? Next episode preview. Zhuxi looked up at him and said in a cute voice, By the way, Mr. Fu, did you know that Su Qianru is a fake king? It has spread all over the internet. Our Mr. Fu has chosen the wrong bride again. How pitiful. Zhuxi lay in his arms and poked his muscular chest with her slender fingers. Fu Nancheng grabbed her finger and stopped her from poking him. Fu Nancheng's thin lips landed on her ear and bit it. Are you laughing at me? She wanted to leave his arms, but Fu Nancheng grabbed her shoulders and stopped her from leaving. Ah, don't make trouble.